Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number F5621-1 retractable chain only for the 5620 series keykeeper. This is an item that is from the Bommer 5620 keykeeper, and a keykeeper is a very common device that is employed when you have a mailbox, a multi-gang mailbox. So, because it's the environment that I basically grew up in the sense of selling the material and the geography, in Chicago, you've got countless 3 flats, 6 flats, 20 flats, whatever it might be. Typical application would be a 3 flat or a 4 flat. You've got a Bommer 9620 series mailbox. The previous was the 5700, long discontinued, but you'd have a multi-gang mailbox. Each tenant has their own key to get in their mailbox. There's one lock up at the center that is there's one hole in the center that the post office installs their lock into. They are able to fill the mailbox by getting access to the entire unit. But there are times when you need access to the mailbox itself, and a keykeeper is where that comes into play. So a very common application is going to be 3 flat. You've got exterior keykeeper. The post office also puts their lock in the keykeeper. They can come to that unit, to the keykeeper, retract the chain to get them into the vestibule door. That door opens up. They then have access to the mailbox itself. Their key goes in. All of the units fold down. The entire assembly tips down, where they can then load all the mail for the individual components. But getting access to where the mailbox is where the keykeeper comes into play. And that's what this is for. Okay? It's not unusual that someone might need to replace this. It's not unheard of. I have to say we don't sell very many of them. But the trouble is Bommer in 2019, I believe early in 2019, they discontinued the entire line of their postal specialties. And they basically stated it became highly unprofitable to participate in that business because there was just no, and it's not Bommer, it's other companies we've dealt with. There is not a willingness from the market to pay for a higher quality product. And I can't comment whether or not Bommer's mailboxes were of the highest quality compared to all others, because I'm not familiar with all others. But I can tell you that Bommer mailboxes, I've seen those installed for decades. And, you know, there you go. So let's switch to the screen view and take a look at what supporting documentation I can provide you on this keykeeper. This is meant for the 5620, most certainly. This has a center-to-center of 2.5 inch of the mounting points that are going to allow you to install this to the back of your keykeeper. The issue, though, is going to be your keykeeper is installed in the wall. Maybe it's installed in a masonry facade. When the keykeepers come from the factory, they're riveted on through the back side of the keykeeper, or when they did. So if you've got a damaged keykeeper, if you have a damaged retractor inside of your keykeeper, you'll be able to certainly get that retractor out somehow, drilling out the rivets or however you'll do it. But you'll have to think about how you're going to get that reinstalled, because you won't really have access to get a pop rivet gun in there, and you'd use like maybe a 3/16 pop rivet. So you might have to change the positioning and then use tech screws or something to go through the back of the aluminum. So how you'll get that reinstalled will take a little bit of imagination, but nonetheless I'm quite sure you can do it. Let's switch to the screen view and take a look at what supporting documentation we do have. Before we do that, just the idea of what this keychain diameter is. 1.25 inches. All right, let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look. Okay, so here is the item that we are looking at. The stock image shows the entire keykeeper with the chain retractor in it. Retractable chain only. Pop rivets or other means of reattaching or re-anchoring or anchoring the chain retractor to the keykeeper are not included. A means of fastening will have to be provided by the installer, such as self-drilling sheet metal screws. That may work. Installation instructions are here. Yeah, I don't really I'd love to know what year this document was published. Yeah, I don't... Well, okay, anchoring screws. They're obviously saying that they have, you know, some means of anchoring back here. That's just aluminum back here, and you'll be able to work that however you may do it. Now, what I was saying earlier, the additional information regarding the Bommer line of postal specialties and how that material was discontinued so many years ago. While I wait for that manufacturer's page to load, I was quite fortunate enough to visit Bommer, the manufacturing plant, both of their plants actually. I believe in late in summer 2019 or so, and had a very enjoyable visit with the folks there, and literally saw the room, the empty room where all the postal specialties were manufactured. And at that time, they were mostly completely depleted of all inventory. And in 2020, they did finally run out of key retractors, but they've been made available again to be able to sell. So while the Keykeeper itself may not be available, at the time of this video, we have one left in stock. The key retractor can still be purchased. So this link here to the manufacturer's page, when you click on that, it'll open up the page where you can review not only all of the Bommer products we sell, but the link to the Postal Specialties catalog. And that document is I don't see a year of publication on this. It's clearly after the year 2016 because they refer to 2006. They clearly refer to 2006 in the documentation. This document has got to be every bit that old, would be my guess. Now, the 5620, the Keykeeper. Here we go. So the 5621 is the model that came with the key retractor. Okay, the 5620 was without that. So you could certainly take a 5620 and turn it into a 21 by adding the retractor, but this retractor came with the 5621. That was the difference. Those Keykeepers were available, as you see here, for recess mount, but they also manufactured a surface mount collar for that. And I don't know where that collar... Oh, here it is, 5641. Full surface frame for surface mounting. Unusual to sell it surface mounted, but not unheard of. That's to be sure. Now, I had said earlier in the video about the multi-gang mailboxes, and I know that I said 9620, and as soon as I said it, I thought to myself, that number doesn't sound right. So that multi-gang mailbox I was referring to sorry. You can see as we scroll through here all of the different... Here we go. 9040 is what I meant to say. 9040. So this was the common multi-gang unit. They had the 5700, which very occasionally people will call and ask if we have. It's here. You can tell it's the 57 because it's a much narrower version. The doors are much smaller. Definitely no longer available and was not post office approved, etc. So the document remains here for postal specialties. Should you need to look back in time, it's provided there for that use. Okay. Other valuable resources are here. The link to the Bommer website, the full Bomber product catalog, which the name Bommer is primarily synonymous with, of course, double and single acting spring hinges, but many other items. I would take a look there to familiarize yourself with their offering. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, in conclusion, even though Bommer has discontinued all their postal specialties, at least at this time, there are small quantities of very small odds and ends still available. But there will be a certain point there will be nothing available at all. Although the key retractors seem to be still available. So there you go. If you do need that, we are able to provide them to you. Fun fact about Bommer, 100% of everything that they produce is made in the United States. Not only are they manufacturing it in the United States, the material that they're purchasing to manufacture it is domestically sourced as well. Not a lot of people still manufacture steel in the United States, but Bommer buys exclusively from one of those perhaps 3 primary sources. It's a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer, this is their part number F5621-1, retractable chain only, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please click subscribe as well, and even share the video with someone that you know. And if you have any questions for a future video, please send them our way and we will make every attempt to oblige. And thank you very much.